Today on Suncoast View, segregation in the school cafeteria. Should academic success determine where students get to sit? We'll discuss.
It's a world first for the Sarasota Youth Opera. We'll meet the composer and get a preview of a premiere happening right here on the Suncoast.
Amazing 3D art brings the pavement to life at this year's 10th Annual Chalk Festival. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show, and welcome to one of our new friends, Tiffany. I want to introduce you to her.
Hello. Thank you.
We're excited to have you with us. Tiffany has an amazing story, but certainly most relatable to me. She is a busy mom who releases her stress and anxiety through comedy and writing, which is a great way to do it. So I love it.
On the children.
And you may recognize her because Tiffany has been certainly on our show because we've aired some of her videos that have gone viral.
Wow, Tiffany.
And some of the topics are just perfect.
Look at you.
The Need for Mom Friends.
Was that a speed dating one? I love that one.
Mom speed dating, just some fun stuff. So we so appreciate a good snarky sense of humor.
Yes, I've got
How many
one.
kids do you have?
Three.
Three. How old are they?
I have a 6-year-old, a just turned 3-year-old, and a 1.5, almost 2-year-old.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
I would tell you it gets easier, but then they turn into teenagers. So it gets different. That's all I will tell you. It gets different. Not easier.
Reassuring, thank you.
No, well, we're glad you are with us today.
Thank you.
If you missed us on Friday, we had so much fun with Jones and Company visiting us from 107.9 WSRZ. See, Tiffany, you get an easy day. We're just going to sit and chat. On Friday, you'd have been running back and forth because we were playing obstacle course games. This was called the Battle of the Hosts. New members of Jones and Company, Meredith Michaels and Billy Jack, there with David Jones, and Let's Jump Events has this really cool inflatable challenge. In fact, I'm told it is out at First Friday at Lakewood Ranch every month. But it's literally like Simon, life size, where you have to run back and forth and bop on the colors. I don't know, do they play Simon anymore, or does that just show I'm old?
No, they still show it.
Still play
There's a
Simon.
machine where you stand there and hit the little heads. It's a lot like that, but you have to run.
Exactly. So we...
A bigger reach.
That was a lot of aerobic activity. That's what I'm telling you. That was...
It was the longest 45 seconds of my life.
It was like a sprint. It really was.
It would be great for a party, though, at your house.
It certainly would be. And I actually went on Let's Jump Events website, and they have so many different, like, inflatable games. Like, we're way beyond bounce houses at this point. Like, there are all sorts of cool things you can do. In fact, we got lucky because they were talking about some balance on big red balls game that we were going to have to do. It looked a little more embarrassing than that one. So.
Uh-oh.
Thanks, Joey.
You might need your wine that we saw in that shot in the curly hair for that one.
Something.
We do some odd things here, we will warn you, but we're going to see if we can keep it calm for you today at least. We have a good return friend in the kitchen today. Chef Eddie from Apollonia Grill is with us. Welcome back. What are we making today?
Thanks for having me. Today we'll be making garides me anito, which is shrimp with dill and lemon.
Okay, can you say the Greek? Say the Greek again for us.
Garides me anito.
So you really are Greek.
Yes.
No, Linda, he just plays one on TV.
Or he plays one at the restaurant.
Exactly. All right, well, we love Apollonia Mediterranean Grill, and we look forward to trying that recipe. It is such a busy, busy week on the Suncoast. My calendar is jam-packed with all the things I hope to stop by and check out. And one of the events actually stopped by our studios. The Siesta Key Crystal Classic is kicking off this weekend. In fact, they are already going to be out on the beaches during the week making the sculptures. I know today was the day off, travel day, but starting Tuesday, artists just like Brian Wigglesworth, as you see here, the creator and founder of the festival, doing sand sculptures. This is the finished product of what he did in 1 hour in our studio. It showed up as a block of sand and became this amazing creation in just an hour. And if you have never been out to the Siesta Key Crystal Classic out on the beach, it is amazing. Have you ever been out there, Tiffany?
Yeah.
And it's our new logo done in sand behind us. I would say as a family outing, it is off the charts because the kids just think it's cool to see the creations on the beach, but as an adult and somebody who understands what it takes to do that, it's astounding.
And you know, they are professionals in that they do things like this for companies at parties and things. So these guys make good money sculpting sand.
While I love our logo, some of the creations they make out there is amazing. You would not believe it's sand. Like, you know, our logo is an understatement. They have like big octopus and all kinds
Mermaids.
of things. Mermaids,
Yeah.
like it's amazing, and they're like
Feet and feet and
life-size.
feet
Yeah.
tall. I
Yeah.
mean, it is something to be seen.
Yeah.
And I know this year they actually have evening events for the first time on Friday. You can get a cocktail and walk around. They're going to light the beach. So
Oh, that'll
they're-
be beautiful.
I know they're doing some different things this year, which I'm very excited about. So this is this week, November 10th through 13th, Siesta Key Crystal Classic. And like I said, there are so many events going on this week. We will be talking more about them, including the Chalk Festival coming up. All right, it is time for our first hot topic. High school cafeterias. They're definitely a tough place to navigate socially for teenagers. A school in Hudson, Florida, not making it any easier. Hudson High School reportedly segregates students depending on their grade point average and the number of absences they have. So the program is called On Track. It's designed to encourage students to perform better in high school. But instead it's being described as very divisive because those with the better grades, and granted they have to be passing grades, wear a special ID bracelet that allows them to eat outdoors in the courtyard and get other perks like free tickets. Students without those bracelets will sit inside. What do you
Why do I
think?
find this funny? I know it's not amusing, but I find this amusing.
First of all, it's like you get to be like the people around you. So you put the kids who are not doing well with kids who are not doing well, and it doesn't help their grades or their attendance.
They just become the failures group together.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the kids outside may not be the cool kids to everybody else. So you are separating and putting group against group. So I think you're causing a lot of social problems.
I don't know if I agree. I feel like sometimes the embarrassment of being the person that cannot go outside is enough to make a kid do their homework.
I don't think so in high
so I
school.
don't
Not with
Well, you know what?
teenagers.
If you don't want to be outside or you want to go outside, do your homework. Do your work.
I don't like labeling.
Yeah,
I don't know.
especially at this age, you tend to stay with the label that you've got. So I think if you just let
But we're going
everybody
to the
come
same
together.
thing again while we're not rewarding the people that have done really, really well. And now we're worried about how the kids that refuse to do their homework feel. Who
The kids
cares
that
how
do
they feel?
really,
If they
really-
want to if they want to go outside, they do the work.
The kids that do really, really well do get rewarded. They get to go to college and all those other little things. But I think it encourages people. If you're with somebody that's doing really well, I want to do as well as you
that's
are.
not how that usually works. If you put a good student next to a bad student, that bad student is going to influence that good student. It's never usually, oh, the good student's going to just make
Oh,
everyone
I
do
don't
well.
agree with that. What do you
I
think,
don't know.
Mother?
Yeah, you're the mom.
Well, I don't know. I think that it's really interesting how they're putting them separate, because the perfect thing would be to put one good kid with one kid who needs help, and they can. The good kid can help the kid who's struggling. Instead of separating them, you're already feeling bad. Some people have learning disabilities and things like that, and maybe it's not their choice that they're not doing great at school and they're having trouble. And so to make them feel worse on top of how they already feel, I think you should encourage them.
See, I don't. You guys are just so optimistic. I just don't think. I just don't think kids think like that. They're not thinking like, oh, this kid is just doing so well in school. I want to be like them, and I'm so mad at myself for not being able to. Maybe there are a few,
I think
but
there's
the
a benefit
reality
of mixing, though.
But the reality of most kids are just like, you know, they do what they feel they want to do. You know?
Yeah, every school handles it differently. I know my teens are in a high school where they have assigned seats at lunch, and they're very mixed. You know, you may have
I think that would
the
be
class
good.
druggie sitting with the class flunky, sitting
Right.
with the top of the class, all at the same table, and they're forced to
The
interact.
class druggie. You have students that are on drugs. in
Honey,
your
I've got news for you. This is high school.
And we do know, but I think it does influence people. And you may not like the class druggie, but when you get to know him,
Right.
you see the problems that are
Then you
involved.
got two class druggies.
No, we're going to get you optimistic today. All right, well, Visit Florida is busy trying to woo tourists to our state, but it is getting harder to convince our neighbors to the north to come south. So Canada is Florida's largest international visitor market, but the weak Canadian dollar and fears of hurricane damage are making it difficult to get Canadians to come. Even without the hurricanes, last year's numbers were down 25% from the year before. So put on the marketing caps. You guys are good at this.
I make a prediction. The weather is going to be so terrible up north this year, they're
They
going to
won't
be
care.
flopping down
But the
here.
weather's always terrible up there. Like, why have they stopped coming?
No, sometimes it's worse. You know, you say they get used to a certain level of temperature and certain level of storms. But I feel like every time we have a really bad hurricane season, they always have a really bad cold season.
Okay.
And I feel like
God is making up for our hurricane.
I feel like that is going to encourage them regardless of what it looks
Yeah,
like.
yeah. The first time we came to Sarasota, there was a blizzard. We drove the wrong way on the freeway to get to the airport to come to Florida. We were in Philadelphia. We
Did
said,
that
well,
convince you it was time to move here?
Well, they said, we said, we'll take the next ticket anywhere in Florida. It was Sarasota. And that was like
so
30 years ago, and here I am.
Tiffany, are you from Florida originally?
I was born in New Jersey, but I moved here when I was really young, so
Okay.
basically I'm
Good
from
choice.
Sarasota.
Yeah.
That's what everybody says.
Well, I think it's interesting. You can't do anything about the weak dollar. You know, I mean, that is what it
Yeah.
is. If it's too expensive for them to come. But I do think, and I know we've talked about this before, you know, marketing that the hurricanes did not flatten Florida to the ground.
important.
And the places that did have that severe damage, the Keys, are already up and, you know, doing the best they can to get going. So.
And if we marketed the fact that you could go to a great event every day of the week down here, free. Admission is free, like Friday Fest, Music on Main.
That's a good point.
All those things. You can walk in free and you don't have to spend a penny.
And free is key
Yeah, I think
because I
that's
think people
important.
think Disney, and we all know that Disney tickets are the world's most
Yes,
expensive thing
yes.
sometimes for some people, and you know that's not all that we have down here.
I think that's why it's so important to have those local visit Florida or visit Sarasota or visit whatever, because sometimes the big organizations, they can promote, but everyone doesn't know that a smaller city may be around or a smaller activity is, you know, doing well or something like that.
All right, just remember the next time we complain about traffic, we just told them we want to market ourselves
Yeah.
more. So we occasionally
We do
flip
money.
flop. We're flip floppers. We admit it. All right, so we know smoking is terrible for your health, but it may be terrible for your employer as well. A Japanese company estimates smokers spend an average of 40 minutes a day away from their desk. So the company is giving non-smokers 6 extra days of paid time off a year.
Ooh, I'm a non-smoker. I'm a non-smoker.
Well, you have to go to Japan. 15% of the U.S. smokes. Gallup says that equals more than $3,000 a year per smoker in lost wages and $2,000 a year per smoker in extra health care costs.
How do they know it's a lost wage? Are they just saying, you know, this is what we want to meet, and we feel like you guys aren't making us get that money?
Well, think about it. If I spend 15 minutes every other hour away from my desk to total 40 minutes a day,
it does add
and I
up.
make X numbers of dollars an hour, you can figure out the wage loss.
Yeah.
And it's true. I mean, I don't mean to pick on anybody, but if you're standing outside for 15 minutes, I can barely go to the bathroom some days and get back because I'm missing calls. Or
I've had conversations with that where I talk about my work schedule here, and they're like, well, you know, you can find a little time to go here. I'm like, I'm not a smoker, so I don't go out smoking every few minutes. You know, I really am working up to the time, and there are people that are literally every few minutes. You're right.
And I don't want to discriminate, but that's time that you're not working that I am. So maybe I should get a couple extra days off.
I think I'm all for the days off. That's the only part I heard.
But then if you get a day off, it's back to that same story from the first one. Now you're being treated better for doing something, and I'm being discriminated
Well,
against.
that's what nature does, because my
Here
husband
we
died
go,
from
full
smoke-related
circle. I brought it back, you guys. I figured out a way to prove my point.
I told you we're flip-floppers.
I'm still going to take those days
Figured it
off.
out. So everyone that was mad from the first conversation, you got to give me credit this one.
All right, well, you're not going to get any
She
days
never
off now.
forgets. She never forgets.
She wants everybody to be
true.
equal. There are no days off for you, even though you don't smoke. So bath bombs are very on trend. If you don't know what they are, they're like fizzy balls you throw into your bath water. They explode and release a scent and leave a mess on the tub, just saying. Now you can smell finger licking good. KFC has a fried chicken bath bomb.
No.
Does
Why?
fryer fat really smell good? Like, I'm so confused. You can also get KFC's fried chicken scented sunscreen. That keeps you
Why?
from turning extra crispy.
Why would
I see what
anyone
you
want
did
this?
there.
Funny and disgusting at the
All
same
at
time.
once.
I can't make these things up. They sell fried
Yeah.
chicken bathwater. That's nasty.
I'm going to pass.
I think bath bombs are nasty anyway, because if you've ever used them and then drained the,
The
tub,
crumb?
No.
the crumb around the bottom of the
Yeah.
tub, and to clean it up, yeah, no.
Oh,
when
no.
those get given as gifts in my house, they go to the garbage can. Sorry to anyone that does.
So
Give
that.
and
them to me.
You
I'll
like
take
them?
'em.
You'll clean the tub. All right.
But I don't even like the smell of fried chicken. Whenever I cook, I have to open my windows and doors, burn candles. I just don't like that scent of food in my house like that.
It would make speed dating even faster. You know, you come upon a guy who's had fried chicken bomb or whatever.
Very funny. All right, we're going to check out our half-hour forecast when we come back. A big premiere with the Sarasota Youth Opera.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your first alert weather forecast for this afternoon and this evening. Look for more fog like we saw this morning. In fact, the fog was around pretty heavy at times. Right now it's 78 degrees, but the fog was rather thick throughout the day, and that kept temperatures into the mid-80s. Could have been in the mid-80s. Good look at the Van Wezel webcam showing all that fog around up until about 11 a.m. and then it burns off, but it's still out there. There's some haze in the atmosphere off in the Gulf, and the temperature is going to be close to the dew point once again, and that's a high dew point temperature, so fog will again be a problem tomorrow morning. I told you about the current conditions. We do have 78 sunny now, but the dew point way up there, 71 degrees now. So all it has to do is cool 7 degrees, and we'll have that fog forming once again. That'll happen pretty quickly once that sun sets tonight. And as the evening planner goes, the fog rolling in, it could be rather thick. Temperatures in the upper 60s by 11 o'clock, and no rain in sight. It's been dry over the weekend. Just a few showers well down to our south. Nothing going on here. We'll have much more in our forecast coming up at 5. Hope to see you then.
The Sarasota Youth Opera is about to do something that has never been done before. It will stage a world premiere of Rutabaga Country. I know rutabagas. I used to eat those things. And the composer, Rachel Peters, is here to tell us all about it. Excuse me for messing up rutabaga. You probably have a greater respect for them than I do, Rachel.
Rutabaga.
Rutabaga.
Yep.
Okay. Is that a vegetable?
It is.
It is a vegetable.
And it refers back to the vegetable in the name of the opera? Because I did wonder that.
Yes and no. There's a rutabaga princess that we meet later on in the story.
I see. Well, tell us about the story of Rutabaga.
Well,
Rutabaga Country.
Rutabaga Country. It is an adaptation of Carl Sandburg's 1922 book, Rutabaga Stories. And it is about a man named Gimme the Axe and his 2 children, Please Gimme and Axe Me No Questions. And they go on a journey to the Rutabaga Country, which is a land in the sky. And in my adaptation of it, they are looking for some clues about their mother, who disappeared a very long time ago.
Okay.
Now, you're performing with the youth opera. Why did you decide on a youth opera? Isn't it different composing for young voices like this?
There are some technical vocal considerations that are a little bit different because their voices are still developing and evolving. But in terms of the content, I would say that Carl Sandburg did all the work for me with the source material because it's so wonderful.
Oh, wow.
And why the Sarasota Youth Opera? You could have done this anywhere in the country. Why did you choose the Sarasota Youth Opera?
They actually chose me. It was a competition that they were holding, and I was very fortunate to be chosen.
Well, we're very fortunate to have you here. Now, what do you hope people are going to take away from this when they see the performance?
Well, I certainly hope they're going to laugh because it's a very silly opera in many places, but also there's a very strong message at the end about family because the people that they meet in the Rutabaga Country become a family of sorts for them. So family can really be anyone, not just somebody that you're related to.
I know you just said you hope they laugh, but you know, when you think of opera, it's one of those things that kids usually aren't into watching, and it also is something that a lot of people just kind of find boring. So is this a way to introduce it to another generation?
Well, I certainly hope so, and I would really like to break down the stereotype of people going to the opera and falling asleep because they can't engage with what's happening on stage. I'm really hoping that these wonderful performances and the production values and everything will really draw everybody in.
And I would think, especially watching kids do it, I mean, right then and there, that's a new level of engagement.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great idea that composers like you are writing for young adults and kids, you know, to try to get more people into the opera.
Well, we're going to hear some of those kids who are absolutely amazing. They're going to sing one of the songs from the opera. Could you set it up for us?
Sure. This is the beginning of a scene where the family of 3 meets a man named Jason Squiff, who is a green-haired plumber in the Rutabaga Country, and he's agonizing a little bit over a repeat customer that he has named Blixie Bimber, who we won't meet, but we'll hear a little bit about it.
Okay, well, let's hear it, guys. Take it away.
Still green, no, it's no use. Pardon me, I have a letter here for Mr. Jason Squiff. I am he and he is I. Thank you, mister. Give me the axe. That's not in my line of work, but I may have a wrench around here somewhere. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Hey, mister, how did your hair get so green?
Ah, 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 this is how. How and where is who and who are you?
Ask me no questions.
Then here's an answer, Miss Blixie Bimber. 52 plumbers she could have chosen, but no, she has to pick me. Every week something new clogging her tank. One of these days, I swear, I'll find a hippopotamus down there. I'm beginning to think she does it on purpose. Duty calls.
Wow, you guys are awesome. I can't believe those voices came out of such young people. Introduce yourselves. Let's start down there with you.
Hi, I'm Lane Hubbard.
Lane, and your name?
Aubrey Zern.
I'm Samantha Lane.
I'm Tobias Wright.
You guys are so good. I guess you've been in the Sarasota Youth Opera for a while, right? You guys do amazing performances, but I can't wait to see this one, and you're going to love it too. We do need to laugh. That will be a great, great thing. The world premiere of Rutabaga Country is November 11th and 12th at Sarasota Opera, and you can go to the Sarasota Opera website for more ticket information. Next, we're going to find out how to get thick, beautiful hair.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye. And over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation.
1-800-813-0109.
And welcome back. We all want our hair to look thick, shiny, and healthy. But to make that happen, what we put in our bodies is just as important as what we put on our hair. Today, Dr. Jenny Wilkins from Age Vital Pharmacy is here to explain what factors can help us have healthy-looking hair. Now, we all know about the humidity and the heat and all the effects that we can do to damage our hair, but who knew that what we put inside our bodies is just as important as, you know, the external factors?
It's more important too, because a lot of people don't know it's all chemical, and there's so many different chemicals that are associated with healthy, strong hair. You know, chemicals that make your hair shinier. You know, different types of biochemicals that actually make your hair stronger and thicker.
Wow.
And so and then sometimes the hair products are better for animals than they are for the human beings.
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. So you're saying internal factors, the chemicals in our bodies are or whatever they're called. I don't know the name.
Well, what are the things that affect make our hair bad?
Oh,
like I had periods after kids where my hair was falling
That's
out.
the number one for women. Having those babies, they suck you dry. They take everything inside and on the outside too. You know, literally. Right. They suck your hormones.
And is that
They
hormonal?
suck your vitamins. Yeah. So it's hormonal and nutritional. So when that baby sucks everything out, you got to replenish. Think of yourself as a plant that's withering and dying. Hasn't been fertilized or watered. So how do you fertilize and water? You know, we're kind of like plants. We walk around, but we require sunlight, we require nutrients, we require fertilization. So what is that fertilization? So I have, obviously, my formula that I formulated called the Metabolic Hair Pro. So I put all of the supplements that I take when I find myself deficient after having kids. So it's got biotin, it's got zinc, it's got copper, it's got natural estrogen blockers like Aromadim. So I load that with antioxidants, and that estrogen blocker is huge because too much estrogen will cause your hair to come out. So when you're blocking that bad estrogen, the estradiol and the estrone, your hair starts to sprout back in. So that's number one as far as hormones. But the copper and the zinc, those are natural estrogen blockers too. So people don't realize how, you know, the endocrine system having, you know, a negative impact on our follicles in our hair. So the moment I start putting those back in my body, the zinc, the copper, the DIM complex, and those antioxidants, I start sprouting brand new hair, and I look like a chia pet, you know? Like, yay! But then checking levels like thyroid, looking at your thyroid, that's huge. So, you know, your
How
thyroid.
does that impact our hair, our thyroid?
Because it's all about metabolism. So if the metabolism is, you know, underactive, your hair's going to be underactive. There's no growth there, giving it, you know, an opportunity for things, you know, to break and to, you know, the tips, the split ends. What woman wants split ends? But it falls out faster too. Sometimes it's too speedy. So then the lifespan of your hair is falling out faster than it should be.
What about stress? I mean, you hear people say, I'm so stressed out, my hair's even falling out. Can that really happen?
Oh, absolutely. And stress and thyroid go hand in hand. So you're thinking of the adrenals and the thyroid gland, absolutely in the same family. If your adrenal glands are overexhausted, yes, it's going to affect your thyroid. So you see how they kind of, you know, they're together. And then testosterone, people usually think testosterone. Wow, you know, women usually don't often think about, you know, taking testosterone, but a little bit of testosterone for women, you know, 2 to 5 milligrams a day, you start sprouting. And then guys too, the same thing. I have elderly guys in their 70s and 80s that start sprouting new hair, and they're like, my hair's growing back. You're
really
amazing.
Quickly, menopause and illness, really quickly.
Yep, so menopause is a lack of hormones. So those hormones start to decline, and then you start losing your hair, not just on top of your head, but on your eyebrows too.
All right, well, thank you so much, Dr. Jenny. Now, you can find Dr. Jenny downtown in Sarasota or on Main Street, or just go to their website. Next, we're going to come back. We're going to get humorous. We'll be back.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book and DVD. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. Call 1-855-395-9803. That's 1-855-395-9803 now.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. We're going to check back in with Chef Eddie from Apollonia Mediterranean Grill. And Chef, you just shared some news with me that's going to make people that live south in Sarasota so excited. Tell us what's on the way for Apollonia.
Yes, so we'll be opening a second location, so there'll be another Apollonia. So we're super excited to bring great food to the surrounding neighborhoods at the Landings Plaza.
Okay, and that is down on Tamiami Trail, so
That's
it's something great to look forward to. We're very proud of you.
Yes, thank you.
Come join you in the kitchen in just a little bit. So every mom knows raising young kids requires a lot of juggling, but a sense of humor certainly helps. And for Tiffany Jenkins, blogging, very bluntly I might add, is also a release. So the blog is called Juggling the Jenkins, and Tiffany has been our guest host throughout the show. So we've gotten to know her a little bit, but now we want to get to really know her. So let's start by having you tell us about your family. Who are you juggling at this point in life?
At this point, I am juggling a 6-year-old bonus daughter, a 3-year-old, and a 1.5-year-old. And if you count my husband, then 4 kids.
Oh, he counts.
Yeah,
oh, trust me. All of us have been married. He counts. All right, and you have a little bit of a different outlook on life. Share with us your history a little bit that kind of changes how you've come to this point in your life.
Yes, I am a recovering drug addict. And this month, actually, I'll have 5 years clean from drugs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's very exciting. There was a point where I didn't think that I was destined to be an adult. I just wanted to die, and I was kind of trying to numb everything with the drugs. And I ended up getting in a lot of trouble and hitting my rock bottom, and there was only one way to go, and it was up. And so I checked myself into a rehab, and I fought for my life, and so many wonderful blessings have happened since I dedicated myself to recovery. My family, my children, just waking up in the morning is a blessing.
Your story
is
amazing.
Looking at the before and after pictures right there, you can definitely see just, you know, just a difference in your face.
Oh, if you could only known then what you had to look forward to when you got on the other side.
I couldn't have dreamed it, honestly. People used to tell me if you just keep doing the right thing, then amazing things are going to happen for you. But even if I sat there for a whole day and tried to imagine my life, I couldn't imagine it as great as it is now.
Oh, how did you get through those dark times? I will admit, when I was, looking at your background to get ready for the segment, I got completely sucked into your blog. I mean,
Thank you.
her writing is just amazing and so real and so raw. And it was very personal. I mean, I feel like I have learned that some of these things you went through were just horrific.
Right.
I mean, you spent time in jail, and some of the stories from in there were just unbelievable. When you were at that horribly low point, how did you get yourself out?
I think I just had at some point like an awakening. I went into the jail feeling defeated, like a lost cause, like I let everybody down, and I wanted to die. I didn't know how to function as a normal person because I was an addict. And then there was a day that I just woke up and I felt hopeful, and I prayed to the universe, like, listen, if I'm meant to do this, if I'm meant to make this out alive, please give me a sign. And the next day somebody from a rehab came in recruiting girls. And I was given a choice to go to rehab or to go live with my father, and I chose the rehab because I knew that in order to change, putting people in jail keeps them away from the drug physically, but the problem isn't there, it's up here. So anywhere I go, it's still going to be here until I address it, get to the root of the problem, and fix it. And that's what rehab did.
What I want to know is, how do you go, because when you look at your blog, there are some very telling stories, but it also becomes humorous at some point. How do you turn those tragedies into something that you can laugh about?
Well, I think that it's important to, if you're talking at somebody, if I was to just tell my story in a straight way, it would be hard to absorb. But when you infiltrate a little bit of humor in there, it grabs people's attention. So people who don't normally read are sucked into my blog because it's not just doom and gloom. There's a bright side too as well. And the humor is just in me in general. I can't help it. I can't be serious for long periods of time.
Well, you have to tell yourself, if I could go through that, I can go through anything.
Oh, yeah.
I can handle this dirty diaper. But I've done worse than that.
Well, and that is, you have such a great sense of humor later on in the blog. Now you're talking about your current life, you know, with the, boy, it's hard to meet friends when you're a mom and all the, you know, just things that we all deal with. So relate your life now. Like, do you say to mom friends, do they know your history? Have you found that to be a stumbling block? Like, can you really connect with people now?
Surprisingly, it's not a stumbling block, it's the opposite. I think that so many addicts are afraid to come forward and speak their truth because of the stigma attached and the hate and the judgment. And so I realized that the more personal I got, the more I put out there, the more people gravitated towards me and were like, thank you for saying this, because I've been feeling this. I just wasn't, I couldn't say it. And the whole thing about moms is everybody on social media tries to make it look like they're perfect and amazing and have it together. And when I started putting myself out there with no makeup, looking a mess, being weird, people are like, thank you. I'm not alone.
Yeah, no, social media is hard, and you have done so many different social media things, videos that have gone viral, talking about mom speed dating. What made you want to get into this way of going about, you know, your humor and coping for yourself?
It's been really organic. It started off with me writing because I wanted to just have an outlet, and then I saw that people were enjoying and relating to what I was writing, so then I decided to become more personal. And then I started videotaping myself, and the videos went viral, and it's just like it has a life of its own, and I'm just going with the flow.
Sometimes things are meant to be.
Yes, absolutely.
You've got a story a lot of people need to hear.
And that's an amazing story.
No, I mean, we're very proud of you, certainly for beating an addiction, but also for being so open about it. You know, I mean, the stories that you tell, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. And I do recommend that all of you get lost in the blog as well, because it's just some great,
I can't wait
funny
to
reading.
get there now.
Thank you. Definitely worth the read. Well, we'll look forward to new adventures on social media, because we will be able to find you. But you can follow Tiffany at jugglingthejenkins.com. She has a lot of great things to say about everyday life, because we're all living it. We might as well laugh. All right, coming up next, we're going to check out some amazing 3D chalk art. Stay with us.
Download the all-new ABC 7 First Alert Weather app now.
Listen to this important message. If you owe money to the IRS, you will want to hear this. Penalties and interest compound daily on your back taxes, putting you under a mountain of debt. Tax 10,000 has years of experience connecting people with tax resolution specialists. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, they will handle all the necessary forms, and if you qualify, you may end up saving thousands of dollars. Call Tax 10,000 at 800-817-1064.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Good afternoon, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. A deadly church shooting in Texas sparks security concerns here on the Suncoast. What local churches are doing to keep parishioners safe. Plus, the push to restore some of the oldest African-American built structures in Manatee County is paying off. A look at the future of the historic Covington House. Now let's get a check on our First Alert weather forecast with Bob Harrigan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Look at this foggy start this morning. Van Wezel webcam showing visibility's down to less than a quarter of a mile. We had advisories out, and then it cleared out about 11 o'clock, turned into a nice afternoon, partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies, and temperatures now have warmed up. We are looking currently in upper 70s to low 80s along the coast, 78 now at the Sarasota Bradian Airport. We have sunshine, and the dew point temperature is still very high, so another night of fog, a good possibility. We'll have the complete details in our forecast coming up at 5. See you then.
The ABC 7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Download yours today.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
I'll be right back.
Every year, the pavement on the Suncoast comes alive with 3D illusions and fine art. The International Chalk Festival is celebrating 10 years of astounding creativity, and artist Lori Escalara has been here the entire 10-year period. What a record, Lori.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here today.
And thank you for bringing an artist along with you.
Anton Polverente from Australia.
Ah.
And so he isn't even from close by. You really brought him. International.
Yeah, we have approximately 200 artists that come from 34 countries, and that doesn't even include the ones that come locally, regionally, and from the States. So yeah, there's like an amazing array of the world's best chalk artists that come to this event.
Now, some people are doing 3D, and some people are doing traditional.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Well, today we brought a traditional piece for you to watch Anton work on. We started on it yesterday and had a few artists helping. And the traditional is the reproduction of master artwork or an original artwork that's done in an academic master style.
Speaking of recreation, we just saw a shot where there's like a little sheet of paper on there that you've like gridded, put a grids on it.
A graph sort of.
So how do you go from a small picture of an example and then turn it into this humongous piece?
It's hard to do a large piece. Your eye goes in a straight line, and you can't really work on a large space without having something that's proportionally gridded out. So we start with small gridded art, and we work square by square. So 1 inch equals 1 foot on, say, a piece of paper. So 1 inch on the paper turns out to be maybe 1 foot on the pavement, but in this case we did it like 9 inches. So there's a proportional relationship that allows you to expand it to a 12 by 24 foot size.
What about the 3D? How is that different now?
So the 3D is, it's an amazing illusion that you can only see from one vantage point, and it has a point where there's usually a set of feet that are put on the ground, which is the singular vantage point where you will see the illusion correctly.
Wow.
So when you walk by in any other spot, you can't see, you see this really distorted, funky thing. And it was engineered back in the 1600s in a famous painting called The Ambassador. And it was meant to be so that the painting could be seen when you're walking up a stairwell, so that your eyes see it from the stairway at an exact point going up the landing. And so we've taken that illusionistic practice and turned it into a illusion on the street, and that was pretty much made famous by Kurt Wenner, who we call the God of Street Painting, who will be at the festival this weekend. And he will be doing either a traditional or an illusion. He usually does a huge illusionistic piece. And there will be many artists that are world famous and renowned for their illusionistic pieces, like Leon Keir will be there. He's very well known. And Kurt will be there, and Marion and Gregor will be there doing a huge piece. They did the Avatar piece last year.
Oh,
if you
yes,
happen
I
to see
remember
that,
that,
it
yes.
was very large. And the illusionistic ones are so large that they start in paint most of the time, working in a tempera paint on the ground that comes off with water. And then on top of that, in the front where there's a lot of detail, you'll see it'll be done probably in some chalk as an overlay.
This thing has grown so much over the years. It's
Yes.
just exploded. What's new this year?
We will have a couple things that everybody should be prepared to come see. One will be the Chalk Museum, so there will be an interactive display of each year the themes that we had over the 10 years. So it'll be, I think, identified by the various themes that we had and the paraphernalia that went with those themes. And then we're going to have a curated section this year, which is a culmination of the contemporary chalk artists that have committed their lives to street painting in the art form, and that have contributed to the festival in some various important and significant ways. And online, we've put a catalog up, and bio or raison d'etre, which is the reason for being for pavement art, a catalog of the history and the individual artists.
Oh, this is great.
Yes.
Oh, it is so much fun. And don't miss it. It is going to be November 10th through the 13th at the Venice Airport Fairgrounds. For more information, you can visit the 2017 Chalk Festival website. Next, a Suncoast resident went up against some sharks, some investment sharks. We'll tell you how she did.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-759-0203, 800-759-0203.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055, 800-793-6055.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
I have some fun stories to share. Okay, so last week on our show, you hopefully caught Suncoast resident Jenny Lynn Williams. She has a tea company called Snarky Tea. So last night, she was on ABC's Shark Tank on Sunday night, pitching Snarky Tea to the investors. She was hoping for a $150,000 deal with 25% equity. Now, two of the investors had doubts. Oh, she looks so cute. She was pregnant when she did it, which we just love. But ultimately, she landed deals from investors Robert Herjavec and Bethany Frankel. She didn't get quite the equity she was hoping for, but she got the $150,000. We are so proud of her. The tea is, look at her. She's so cute. And Bethany, honestly, you two could be soul sisters, because obviously with the kind of funky names her tea has, they're very edgy, which we think is hysterical.
But you know what you're getting.
You know what you're getting, right. When it's time to wake up, that tea says, wake the heck up, sort of. Not quite that, but you know what I'm saying. But I love the fact that she took something very similar to you that she just enjoyed doing and found a way to make it her own and be a real person. She's also a mom with young kids.
And to make people smile.
Yes. Exactly.
You can't look at those boxes without smiling.
And to take that all the way to Shark Tank and then get the deal, we could not be more proud of her. So we'll have to see where the tea ends up, but keep your eyes out for the Snarky Tea Company that is born and bred right here on the Suncoast.
Another Suncoast native doing great things.
That's right. We're very proud of her. All right, we're also proud of Chef Eddie, Apollonia Mediterranean Grill, a great local restaurant. We're going to go have some shrimp with him in the kitchen.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
Do you need a good laugh? Starting November 1st at the Player Center, everything that can go wrong does go wrong in the smash hit comedy Moon Over Buffalo. This wild Broadway series production shows what happens both on stage and off. Contact the Players at 365-2494 or at theplayers.org. The show must go on with Moon Over Buffalo.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what we're working on now for the top of the hour. The future of a certain type of fishing on the Venice Fishing Pier, now navigating rocky waters, why some are looking for a ban. Taking a quick look at first alert traffic right now, a couple of crashes to be on the lookout for. One on Beneva Road in Sarasota. One lane is blocked there at Lake Point Boulevard. And then also heading east on University Parkway, right near the interstate, there's a crash there. Doesn't look like it's affecting traffic too badly right now. Let's get another check on the weather now with Bob.
Well, Scott, the biggest downside to our weather, the fog. The fog is going to be a problem again late tonight. 78 degrees right now, but there's a haze in the atmosphere off in the distance, and the dew point temperature is way up there at 71 degrees now, and winds are out of the west-northwest at 9. Those winds will let up somewhat. This morning, it was tough going for commuters as there were dense fog advisories in place. I'll let you know if there'll be more coming up at 5.
Download the all-new ABC 7 First Alert weather app now.
Until recently, getting older meant losing your energy, memory, sex drive, even gaining weight, but it doesn't have to.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jenny Wilkins, owner of Age Vital Pharmacy Research and Wellness. Reversing or slowing the effects of aging can be as simple as supplementing vitamins, minerals, and hormones that your body needs in order to look and feel young again. At Age Vital, we do this without taking harmful prescription drugs that often have a longer list of side effects than benefits. Growing older doesn't mean you have to feel older. Age well, Age Vital.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value, free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetzy. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Coming up Tuesday at 4 on Suncoast View, your favorite superheroes will be live right here in our studio. Feld Entertainment's Marvel Live stops by to teach us how to fight evil. Florida Studio Theater previews their new cabaret show, Mac the Knife. Plus, we honor Veterans Day with Goodwill's Veteran Services program. And a new restaurant to the Suncoast, Acropolis, joins us in the kitchen.
And welcome back. Right now we're in the kitchen with Chef Eddie from Apollonia Grill and Mediterranean Grill, and we are making a nice smelling fish, or shrimp.
Shrimp. So we got a very nice shrimp dish. It's similar to like a shrimp scampi, but it's our take on it, and it's very vibrant, very lemony, and it's really good.
Oh, good. It smells amazing.
So we can start with a very nice hot pan, and Linda, if you can help me with put some onions and some garlic in the pan.
Like that much?
Yeah, that's perfect. It's about a tablespoon.
She just threw it in.
There you go.
But I got it in.
There you go.
Okay, now garlic.
That's right. A little bit of garlic. Mm-hmm.
That much garlic? Is
That's
that
right.
too much?
No, that's never too much garlic.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So we're just going to mix that down a little bit and cook it down so it's, fragrant. You can actually smell it.
Fragrant.
So, that's right. So the pan is really hot, so we're going to put the shrimp right away in it. Normally you want to cook the onions and the garlic a little bit before you put the shrimp.
Before you put them in?
Oh, so you make them, caramelize a little?
Yeah, that's right. So this is, these are large Gulf of Mexico shrimp or prawns. Anytime you pick in shrimp or you're choosing shrimp at the store, I would always recommend with the shell on because the flavor is just better of it. Yes, and then just, make sure they're divined because that's a lot of work to do it at home, but leave the shell on because it's going to give you a more richer flavor of the seafood.
Even when you cook them? Now,
you could cook them with the shell on, but you could take the shell on prior to cooking it.
Okay. So bring them home from the store, shell on.
That's right.
Got it.
And can I get some of the white wine over there?
Oh, I guess.
We're hoping that you'll forget about it so we can use it later.
So wine adds some body to the sauce and the dish, as well as it slows down the cooking process so we don't burn what we got going on in the pan right there.
Wine makes everything better.
And it makes everything better, right? So, all right, so this slows down the cooking, and the shrimp should be about pink on the other side, so we'll see if it's almost ready. So it's getting close. Shrimp cooks very fast. You don't want to overcook it because it'll get dry and it'll be like rubbery.
Yeah, mine have turned out rubbery before. As that's cooking, Eddie, tell us a little bit about your new menu options that are coming out for fall.
So we just rolled out a new menu. This is one of them. We used to run this as a special quite often, and this is one of those simple dishes, but people react very well to it, and that's why we chose to make it on the show.
Well, I smell the aroma, so I'm sure that's why.
So let's add some lemon juice to this dish, and then we're going to add some season, some salt and pepper if you could.
Salt. This
one right here.
How much?
Linda,
much.
did you just
Yes,
ask what
I was
salt was?
Maybe she thought it was
It looks different.
It does look
Oh, is it sea
Actually,
salt?
I got you.
It is sea salt, but you're right, Linda. So it is different. It does have some white pepper inside too, so it makes it look like it is different. So,
all right.
So what I did is I cut some steps. I mixed the salt and the white pepper in it. We do that at the restaurant as well too, just so that way we're not just grabbing everything, but they're both mixed together.
White pepper different than black pepper?
White pepper is different. It's going to have more pungent flavor as well as it sort of melts and it's really spicy. So you would want to use very little bit to it. Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah. And it also doesn't discolor the dish because you'll see a lot of black spots on the sauce. So white pepper, it's white, so it sort of melts away. Yeah. And then we're going to grab some butter.
All of it?
All of it, yes.
Oh.
Now you can use as much as you want.
All
so
of it.
Not
Okay.
all
No.
of them. Yeah, that's
More?
good. That's good.
More?
That's good. Yes, that's good. That's plenty in there.
I was thinking we were going light and healthy for a while there, but here comes the butter.
That's right. Now you can control the butter, how much you put in it. Now we're gonna turn off the oven top here because the butter's gonna slow down the cooking and emulsify the dish. We have a little bit of mustard here. This is a stone ground mustard, and stone ground mustard will also thicken up the sauce as well too. And then we're gonna add some fresh dill. And if you don't like dill, you can use mint, you can use basil, or any of your fresh herbs like coriander works really good.
And
as
that
well, too.
amazing sauce that you just created is going to be heaven on this grilled bread. I'm already planning for where that is going. So good call with that on the side. This is a great lemon dill shrimp. It is on the new fall menu at Apollonia Mediterranean Grill. So next year we'll be able to have a second location from Chef Eddie. We are very much looking forward to that. And of course, always excited to try his great Mediterranean creation. So thanks so much for being here.
Amazing.
Tiffany, great to get to know you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
You'll
And for sharing your story.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Very inspirational. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. I got bread to dip. Take some time. Enjoy the Suncoast view.